Welcome in, welcome back. We're the Real Selection Committee. My name's Mike, this is Greg, and Week 11 just wrapped up. Pretty fun weekend we had there. What'd you take away from this weekend here?
Well, the ACC is even more of a wreck than it was last week, right?
Yes.
I think the SEC and Big Ten are really close to both getting 4 teams into the playoffs because I don't think the Big 12 now is going to get 2 in because Brigham Young got blown out. And the ACC, I don't know, they might be lucky to get 1 in. Mm-hmm. They might take their spot away from them if things keep happening. But I would say Georgia Tech became a winner this week with the goings on. Texas Tech's certainly a winner. South Florida's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Because Memphis dropped 1.
Yeah.
So a lot of good stuff is what I'm going to say happened yesterday. Still more craziness, and on we go.
Yeah. So, real quick, new to this channel, or if you've been watching this channel, please hit like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. We enjoy doing this, and hopefully you enjoy watching it. So what we want to do today is we're going to recap Week 11. We're going to talk about the teams, the big impactful games of Week 11 here, because there was a handful of them that are reshaping conferences and teams that are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there's some big things there. For right now, let's talk about Week 11 here. For me, one of the biggest games here, could have changed the big thing here, was Indiana and Penn State here. Indiana and Penn State. Indiana had to drive down there in the last drive here to win that game. What a catch in the end zone. The guy put his foot down. I mean, he was 6 inches from being out of the end zone and losing this game here, which would have changed big things. That would have hurt the Big Ten conference overall. That would have just really opened the door for SEC floodgates to come in here.
I don't know if I'd say that, because I don't think you could totally just take Indiana's season and throw it away, because if that's how you're going to play it, then we throw Alabama's season away for losing to a terrible Florida State team. And I don't want to hear that it was Week 1, because it was Week 1 for Florida State too. So it would have hurt Indiana because it would have dropped them down into the grinder with Oregon and USC and Michigan. But it was a great game. I mean, Indiana was up kind of 10 points at one point, and I kind of stopped paying attention to it, and then happened to see that Penn State had taken the lead.
Yeah.
So when people want to say you don't play anybody, refer to that game, because Penn State had been in disarray, but they came to play that game, didn't they?
Yeah, Penn State really showed them play that. They got their running game going in this game here. Nick Singleton had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. This is what Penn State should have relied on all year, is their running game to opening up their passing game. They relied too much on Aller to make things happen. He ended up getting hurt, which kind of hurt their season quite a bit. But Penn State's defense is a very good defense, and they kind of held Indiana in check. Fernando Mendoza here kind of struggled in this game, but he had to take that leadership role, and I think, how do you think this helped his Heisman, chances here with this game performance?
I don't know. I don't think it hurt him, but here again, winning the game on the last play, that's kind of what you want in a Heisman Trophy winner, right? Able to win the game when it matters most.
Yeah, this is building up their confidence for Indiana. To me, I think this was a positive thing, too, because they haven't been challenged all season long. And this was a game that they had to come back from, being behind in that late in that fourth quarter to win that game. So that was a pretty interesting game. I think it did good for Indiana as much as you thought it would hurt them, as far as them, being in a tight, close game here.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts. I don't think a team should be hurt by playing a tough close game with another team. Like, let's remember, Penn State was ranked second overall coming into the season.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a team that's not null and void of talent. They just have not played to that level most of the year. But hey, those teams, and we say it about Clemson, these teams are still capable of playing good football.
Yeah.
You got to play to beat them. That's why we keep saying this. And, well, they don't play anybody. Well, you're in the Big Ten. There ain't no easy games.
Right.
You got to play. You got to go out there and play.
Right. Another game here, we'll stay in the Big Ten, was Oregon-Iowa. That turned out to be a pretty big, impactful game, too, and that was down to the wire here. Oregon needing the comeback to win.
Kicks the field goal with 5 seconds left. Or the Big Ten would have really been turned. Oregon probably would have found themselves out. Because Iowa was charging. People forgot about them because they had the loss early in the year to Iowa State. But Iowa's another team that gave Indiana everything they wanted. Here they're giving Oregon everything they want. So when you say Iowa isn't any good, look at the schedules before you talk, people.
Right. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting game. Another game, let's dive into the SEC a little bit here. Vanderbilt and Auburn. Vanderbilt lost last weekend, and this game they come in, they had to, right the ship, I guess. A lot of people think Vanderbilt's one of those playoff contending teams here. I'm not as far on that bandwagon, but Diego Pavia is a great player in college football, and he is one of those Heisman candidates, I think.
Vanderbilt's a good story. They're feel good. They're a good team. They're not elite. And too many people down south in the SEC want to count them in Missouri and LSU as elite teams or Tennessee. No.
Right.
No. They're all good teams. And Vanderbilt's a good story. They have no shot at getting into playoffs.
Right.
Reality-wise.
Right.
Yeah, they may still be kind of alive, but we've talked about the SEC as a chance of having 4 one-loss teams.
Yeah.
They're not one of them.
They're not one of them, no.
They really don't have any chance. But, to your point, Pavia is a heck of a competitor. Okay, he just grit. And Vanderbilt's a nice story. I like Vanderbilt. They just, let's keep them in their proper place, folks.
Yeah. Other SEC teams that, helped their cause was Alabama beating up LSU. LSU just looks dreadful. They look terrible this year. I mean, they can't get anything going offensively. Defense on Alabama is looking star-studded. Another team, Georgia. I was shocked at this score. I thought Mississippi would hold in there a little bit better. I kind of thought, the spread on that was 10.5, and I didn't really think. I thought that was a little crazy.
Georgia hasn't been playing in a way where you would expect. And the Mississippi State here again, they're not killers, but they're a nice team. They'll come out and fight.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be a closer game, and Georgia just pretty much said from the start, nope, we're going to take you out.
Right.
And that was an impressive win for Georgia, beating a pretty good Mississippi State team by 20 points, 3 touchdowns. So.
Yeah, so to me, I think the biggest game, which proved a lot, was the BYU and Texas Tech, which was the highest rated game going in.
Yeah.
Both teams 7 and 8 ranked on the committee here.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech just dominated this game. They just dominated.
They were dominant. BYU did have 3 turnovers, which I'm sure did not help them. But how bad would that game have been had Texas Tech had touchdowns and not field goals?
Yeah, it would have been a blowout.
I did not, in looking over the summary, I did not see, I seen 2 drives that they had that obviously must have come off of turnovers. 2 drives with, get this, -4 total yards. Came up, and I think there were 2 field goals kicked in that, so 6 points out of -4 yards over 2 drives.
Yeah.
But basically, that had nothing to do with Texas Tech just dominated BYU.
Yeah, 29-7. I mean, that was total domination, and like you said, if you replace those field goals with touchdowns, it would have been a blowout of high proportions here. And I mean, Texas kind of struggled, but Texas Tech kind of struggled. The nice thing was that Texas Tech's defense is a really good defense. They're the best in the Big 12 here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the class of this conference.
Yeah. I think Tech can compete with just about anyone in the country. They're a good football team, and they'll take you by surprise. Texas Tech certainly looks like they're going to get into the playoffs, barring a meltdown.
Yeah. So the thing here, another thing was a group of 5.
Yeah. Oh.
We had Tulane and Memphis played on Friday night here, and Memphis was in the driver's seat here
Yes, they were.
in this game. And next thing you know, they got upset by Tulane.
Well, Tulane left little doubt. They were up 38-17 heading into the fourth quarter. Memphis kind of scrambled a little bit to get this game back to being respectable. We kind of forgot about Tulane there.
Yeah.
Tulane's
Yeah.
right in the mix.
Oh,
They
yeah.
only had one loss in the conference, and we kind of have been leaving them out of this. And now they're very much in it. Them and South Florida, which I think South Florida is the team, and North Texas.
North Texas, yeah.
You can say Navy, but I don't see Navy.
No.
I don't see Navy hanging around.
No,
But-
I don't think. I think Navy's a nice story and stuff like that. I kind of like this team, but they're just struggling offensively to find the way to move the ball. They're struggling there. So, yeah, they're definitely out of the picture here.
But Tulane dominated. The total yardage wasn't so skewed, but the score.
Yeah.
Somehow Tulane was up 38-17.
Yeah.
And in looking that game over, I didn't see a whole lot of short yard drives. It looked like most of the drives were earned. So, and I don't have anything wrote down about penalties or turnovers. So, this game was just well played by Tulane. Memphis, we give them credit for having the guts to come back in and realize they need to win that game, but they fell short.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean, that was, to me, was the biggest recap. Miami Hurricanes beat up on Syracuse. They're kind of climbing back in the mix because the ACC doesn't know who wants to take the helm of this conference here. It's kind of a mess in this conference.
Yeah.
Trying to figure that conference out is who knows.
well, real quick, Virginia go down 16-9 in a very lackluster game.
yes.
And Wake Forest has done some decent things this year. So they're not involved in anything, but they've actually had a nice season. Virginia, that might cost them mightily. And now you see the gift of them, that North Carolina State game that they lost not being a conference game.
Right. Yeah, that helps them out
And
tremendously.
then Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville was the team I
Yeah.
thought was going to
Yeah.
go in, and they lose to Cal in overtime.
Yeah. I think the biggest winner was Georgia Tech in this
Yes.
conference.
I think you're right. And, who knows who they're going to play?
Right.
Could all that silliness, could that have given Miami a slight crack in the door to enter? We'll see.
Yeah. It definitely opened the door a little bit, but
Yeah.
they still have some ground to make
They're
up.
still in trouble. But I think that door swung open a hair.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go into the top 25. This is before the college football committee comes out with their top 25. So we're going to come in with our top 25 here. I looked at the AP poll. I got the AP poll as a reference for us too that we want to talk about here. So the AP poll, we got South Florida at 25. Now going into ours, this is all based on chances of making it into the playoffs, and that's kind of what is cool about the committee because it seems like they do that too.
Yeah.
They're talking about chances to make it into the playoffs.
Well, there's criteria to the playoffs.
Yes.
And we have to follow that.
Yes.
So my number 25 team, without any ado, is James Madison.
Yes.
Because the door is slightly cracked. If somehow, some way, the AC implodes, James Madison has the slightest of chances, but they're number 25.
Yep. So the AP poll is actually recognizing they have James Madison at 24, ahead of South Florida here.
Wow.
That is pretty crazy.
That's crazy, but I get it. South Florida has one extra loss than them.
Yes.
My number 24 is the team that just upset the apple cart, Tulane. A team we all forgot about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but there they sit now on the strength of beating Memphis and putting themselves back into an opportunity to get into that AAC championship game. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm looking.
Yeah, I mean, preseason Tulane was looked at as one of the teams to make it in, or one of them group of 5 representatives.
Yeah.
So, number 23, Pittsburgh, 7-2, still lying around in that ACC where who knows who wants it, who's going to step up and go get it.
Here again, keeping with the group of 5 look, number 23 for me is North Texas. This team is fast becoming one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They just keep winning. Their only loss, they did get knocked around by South Florida, but there sits North Texas at 8-1, and they as well have a chance. The reason these teams are there is their chances of winning their conference and getting a bid.
Yeah.
Not because I think they're the 23rd best team, but they have, in my opinion, the 23rd best chance of getting into the playoffs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They definitely do. They have a explosive offense. I think they're in the top 10 in scoring for offense. So this is a team, if you haven't seen, they're pretty impressive. They're fun to watch. They're a good team.
Yeah.
So number 22, Cincinnati,
Yeah.
7-2. They have a chance at the Big 12 conference.
They absolutely do. My number 22 is Utah, which might be the most exciting team out of the Big 12, save Texas Tech. But, you know, they're going to need a lot of help. Utah might be the best chance at the Big 12 getting that second team in if they can somehow, some way find their way into that Big 12 championship game.
Yep. Number 21 is Tennessee, 6-3, outside chance, but that's a grinder. Yeah.
That would get a gong if I had it available to me.
Yes.
Tennessee's a nice team. I don't mean to disrespect Tennessee, but let's quit littering this with SEC teams.
Yeah,
they're not elite.
Yeah.
And my number 21 is Miami of Florida. Mm-hmm. Why? Because clearly this team is the best team in the ACC. They just they forgot about it for 2 weekends.
Yeah.
But there is a slight chance with all the stupidity going on in the ACC that they could find themselves back in. And would the committee look at, if Miami of Florida ran the table, would they look at a team that beat Notre Dame, beat South Florida, and they run the table, they've got a couple of nice games in the ACC left, would they possibly say it in an at-large? That's a question we'll find out.
Yeah.
That's where I'm putting them, 21.
Yeah, that's a team that has the best roster, like you said. I think if they were there, the committee would definitely try to push them in because they have
marketability too.
Yes. So number 20 is Virginia, a team that just really dropped the ball this weekend here. That had everything going for them.
They really hurt themselves. I'm not going to say they hurt themselves to the point where they maybe should have dropped that far, but they're looking at it differently than us. My number 20 is Cincinnati. At 7-2, only one loss in the conference. They play Brigham Young. Now that game has new meaning.
Oh yeah.
The winner of that keeps themselves alive for that Big 12 championship and the shoe-in. Cincinnati kind of owns their own destiny. So we'll see number 20.
Yep. Number 19's Louisville, another team that really dropped the ball this weekend.
Yeah, I took them out because I think their chances of getting in is over. Number 19, I still have Vanderbilt there, despite my little dispute on them earlier. I said last week, as long as Vanderbilt stays to where they're kind of somewhat alive, I'm going to keep them in. They're still 8-2. Still, I don't think they're alive to get in the SEC, but we're going to leave them at 19.
Yeah. Number 18, Michigan. Michigan has one big game ahead of them, and if they win that, they propel themselves into some good opportunities.
My number 18 is Oklahoma. They have the 6th best chance to win in the SEC. I think they're kind of out, but they do have the big game with Alabama coming up. And if they win that, they open the door for themselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma would be my number 18.
Yep. Number 17, USC. USC's got some tough games on their schedule here left, so they got an opportunity.
My number 17 is Texas, for many of the same reasons we spoke of on Oklahoma. Texas has Georgia and Texas A&M on their schedule left. So while they're a 7-2 team, they've only lost one game in the SEC. So if they take Georgia and A&M out, that kind of puts them right in there looking like
Oh,
they
yeah.
might be the team to go in. So Texas is number 17.
Yep. Number 16 AP poll is Miami.
See there, they're keeping them right in
Yeah,
there.
they're keeping them.
Keeping them in striking distance. My number 16 is BYU. The loss certainly was upsetting for them. It certainly hurt their chances, but they can play their way back into the Big 12 championship game and potentially win it. So Brigham Young would be number 16.
Right. Number 15, Utah. Definitely a nice team. This is the team that
Yeah.
a lot of people have faith in, making a playoff run.
They're absolutely exciting. The thing working against Utah is they lost to both Texas Tech and BYU.
Yeah.
So they need a little bit of help, but they certainly are a fun team. Number 15 for me is my South Florida. Yes, they lost to Memphis. And yes, they got their butt handed to them by Miami of Florida. But they've taken care of business elsewise. I think this is the team with the best chance of winning the group of 5. That's why they're up that high. Number 15 for me is South Florida.
Yep. Number 14, Georgia Tech.
Yeah. My number 14 is Pittsburgh. They moved up very much because of the silliness that happened over the weekend. They have a couple of games left that can help decide this. They sort of have their destiny in their hands. Win out and you got a shot. So I got Pittsburgh at number 14 at 7-2. Quiet season, by the way.
Yeah. Number 13, Vanderbilt. They have them still high. I don't think they should be that high. Chances are slim.
Must be a lot of ESPN people on that AP poll. Number 13 is Michigan. Michigan is down there because of the fact that they have not looked as good as they probably can, but they have a very good chance of making the Big Ten championship game if they upset Ohio State again for the 5th year in a row, which they've shown a ability of doing. So we're going to put Michigan at 13. I don't think they get in, but they do have a shot.
Oh, yeah, they definitely
a legitimate
have a shot.
chance.
Yeah, so here's where we're getting into these teams that are playoff teams as far as this week's coming into. Number 12 is going to be, now they should have dropped this team out, BYU. They have them in 12 rankings.
Well, I think they're trying to keep the second
Yeah.
Big 12 team in there, but my number 12 is USC. USC 7-2, one loss in the Big Ten. They could go from being the 4th or 5th team up to the 2nd team if things play out right for them. Run the table in Indiana or Ohio State lose, then you get into tiebreakers. So, and USC, let's not forget, they hold the cards with Michigan, and if they beat Oregon, they'll hold the cards with Oregon.
That's it right there.
So
they're in striking distance with that key matchup with Oregon coming up.
Yes.
USC has got they're in the driver's seat here as far as they have a chance to put themselves as a playoff team.
Oh, yeah.
So, number 11, Oklahoma. Now, they got a big game this weekend here going against Alabama. That could help their cause if they win.
Absolutely could. I understand Oklahoma being high because they do have the game that can keep them high. However, my number 11 is Virginia. They lost a lot by losing to a team that nobody thought should beat them. So they're question marks big time at 8-2. Very fortunate that loss to NC State was considered an out-of-conference game. But they have to win the ACC to get in.
Yeah.
And they have a chance.
They had the easier schedule of the remaining ACC schools.
And they still found a way to trip because, as we mentioned, ACC is full of spoiler-type teams. And they just got spoiled. We'll see what happens. Number 11, Virginia.
Yeah, they got the best percentage to make the playoffs right now. Number 10 is Texas.
Not a bad choice. My number 10 is Oregon. Oregon being 9-1, just got a really nice win against Iowa, even though it wasn't the best to watch. It wasn't nice to the eye, is what I mean. But hey, Iowa's a good football team, folks. Oregon got it done. 8-1. Third best team in the Big Ten as it sits right now in our mind. We'll see. They're in the driver's seat as far as staying in that third seat. And then if chaos ensues, we'll see where the tiebreakers lead them.
Well, to me, that was a travel game for Oregon in crappy cold weather, and they hung in with Iowa, who's tough to beat at home.
Oh, they are.
Oregon, I think, to me, helped their cause. I think that showed people that this team can play Big Ten kind of games weather-wise and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I like that. I think that helped Oregon because I was questioning their schedule coming into, this week. That, they had kind of a soft schedule.
Yeah.
The Penn State win wasn't as credible because Penn State's been losing games.
Yeah.
But this game, to me, helped the cause for Oregon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 9, Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. My number 9 is Ole Miss.
Yes.
Ole Miss could have been higher, but in a sense, their schedule wasn't as strong as the other SEC teams.
Yeah.
But still, 9-1. This is a team that I figured would be 7-5. Here they sit at 9-1. They did beat Oklahoma. Close loss, I believe it was Georgia. So Ole Miss is still in striking range. They should run the table. But, you can't never count that Mississippi State game as an absolute win. If Ole Miss runs the table, I think they have a real good chance at being the 4th team out of the SEC to get in.
I totally think that they're getting in the playoff as that 4th team. Ole Miss has been had a helpful, favorable schedule for them, but they have won credible wins on their schedule too. I think they got the easiest remaining schedule, so they're definitely going to be staying in that top 12. So I really think that this team's making the playoffs.
Well, they might have had a favorable schedule, but they have to go out and win at the same time, and they did. So we'll give them that credit.
Yep. Number 8 is Texas Tech.
Number 8's where I have Notre Dame. And we've talked about it all year long. No sense in keep beating the dead horse. Notre Dame's a good football team. They're playing good football. Their 2 losses show they're a good team. The 1 loss, they lost to Texas A&M by 1 point, is controversial because there was a holding penalty that there's no way all them damn referees missed. And they let it go. Otherwise, Texas A&M would not be undefeated, and Notre Dame would only have 1 loss. So Notre Dame is number 8 to me.
So how do you place head-to-head matchups when Miami beat them and they're ahead of them?
Well, it is what it is. Sometimes it's when you lose and how you lose and who you lose to. Would you rather lose? Would you rather lose to Duke or Miami?
Right.
Well, Notre Dame lost to Miami. Miami turned around and got beat by Duke.
Yeah.
So heading into this thing here, I hate to play Miami was a better team when they played Notre Dame. But then Miami turns around and gets beat by 4-loss Duke.
Yeah.
So that's why I got Miami down lower. Plus, Miami has no shot at their championship as it sits right now. Notre Dame, they kind of save a spot for. Notre Dame is 7-2. Right on path to get that. Good enough because their losses are the 2 quality teams. That's why I say Notre Dame is over Miami. Sometimes the better team doesn't win the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes the better team doesn't win, and not all losses and wins are equal.
Right.
Just because you beat a team that means you were better than them on that day. Remember that in class now. Should we rank Are we going to rank Florida State over Alabama? What's the head-to-head there?
Yeah, right.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, just a question.
No, I know it ain't you.
Yeah. Number 7, Oregon. I was excited with this win for them.
My number 7 is your team, Georgia Tech.
Yes.
I think Georgia Tech is the big winner from this past weekend. I think their ACC schedule remaining is soft.
Yes.
They have the best chance, and it would not shock me if Georgia Tech is capable of taking down Georgia. They almost beat them last year and didn't have the team that they have this year.
Yes.
And Georgia's kind of relatively the same. I think Georgia Tech's number 7. I think Georgia Tech has a shot at getting in, even if they don't somehow miss the ACC. Because if they take down Georgia, they got a real shot as a one-loss team of getting in.
Yeah, I think Georgia Tech is the best team in the ACC. I think they're a shoe-in for me as making it into the playoffs. They got Heinz King is just a weapon.
Yeah.
This guy is the will to win games, the moxie he brings to this team. This team is exciting. Good defense. They had a bad game that they lost. Their defense didn't show up there, but they're definitely the best team in the ACC in my mind.
Yeah.
So, number 6, Old Miss. AP poll loves Old Miss. I like Old Miss, but I don't have them that high.
I don't have them that high either, but they're certainly a credible football team. I don't mind Ole Miss being high because we know they're good.
Yes.
My number 6 is Georgia. You know, and Georgia has exceeded my expectations. And Georgia's playing good football, good enough to win. Their win over Mississippi State this past weekend really spoke multitudes on them. Now, can they stay playing that high? But they're number 6 for me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 5 to go on. Georgia's at number 5 position. I really was impressed with the way they came out and kind of just manhandled Mississippi State here, which I wouldn't have thought that was going to be that kind of a blowout.
No.
But Georgia is that Jekyll and Hyde team in this SEC, capable of beating any team and every team, capable to go on a run, definitely a playoff team. They're in the playoffs as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, barring stupidity, which I think they're very capable of the stupidity.
But they got a big
too.
matchup. Let's not forget this big matchup
Texas.
this weekend. They got Texas this weekend. Now, if Texas comes into town and upsets them, they're tumbling out of this. Here.
Well, if Texas were to come in and upset them, I don't think it would take them out. But now that Georgia Tech game becomes important. You better not lose that game.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So here we go. The fun begins.
Yes.
My number 5 is Texas Tech. And Texas Tech is there because we believe they are absolutely the Big 12 champion.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm putting Texas Tech there. It's pretty much a guarantee into the playoffs, folks. That's necessarily not the seeding I have them, but they're the 5th best chance of getting in.
Yeah, definitely. Number 4, Alabama. This is the highest ceiling team, and we keep beating that in to everyone's head here. The highest ceiling team with the highest potential here. They got a little slowed up. They didn't have such a great offensive game this last week against LSU. Simpson just knows how to win games. I like him. He's a very good quarterback. So who do you have at number 4?
I have Alabama at number 4. Just to kind of say, yeah, they kind of look lackluster in the win over LSU. But let us not forget, LSU is a quality football team. They're just in disarray. And you're allowed to not have your best when you win.
Yeah.
And Alabama, to me, like you said, and we've always said, the highest ceiling team in the SEC. Now, you asked a question earlier about head-to-head matchups, and I know it wasn't you asking me.
Right.
The reason head-to-head matchups don't matter all the time is Alabama's one loss is Florida State. Where's Florida State right now? They're 5-5.
Yeah.
1-5 in the ACC, which is only getting one team in.
Right.
We think Alabama's going to win the toughest conference in college football. That makes sense.
Right.
Head-to-heads matter when you're in a tie with the schedule or your records.
Yes.
They don't matter so much in the big overall scheme of things.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that. They have a big game this weekend here against Oklahoma. This is a elimination game for Oklahoma, so they better come in and play here.
Oklahoma better come into play because Alabama's probably looking for a little payback for Oklahoma taking a dump on their playoff run last year.
Right. Yeah, they did.
So we'll see what happens.
Yep. Number 3.
Number 3 is Indiana. And I struggle with keeping them at 3 because there's part of me that wants to just say this is the best team in the country. But I still want to see how Indiana plays the Ohio States and the Alabamas.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon's a nice win. Oregon's close, but they're not quite the upper
Elite.
echelon.
Yeah.
So Indiana's number 3, but I'm going to preface this by saying they're starting to get my attention to draw them number 1.
Yeah.
They're really close.
I really think that come Tuesday when this the committee gets together and they pull out the rankings, this is how it's going to fall. I believe Indiana is going to step back one, and they're going to put the other team ahead of them. I do see Indiana as the number 3 team.
Yeah.
They're going to look at and kind of, which shouldn't be looked at. This last game, them coming down and winning that game, that was an impressive game.
Absolutely.
That they just won this weekend against Penn State. That's a tough team to beat, no matter who they are.
You're at Penn State as well.
Yes. Crappy conditions in that game as well. Indiana is a great team, great defense, good offense, Heisman candidate on that team here.
Yep.
But and I know that the committee is going to want to put A&M ahead of him.
Sure.
Texas A&M at that number 2 spot.
Well, and I got A&M at that 2 spot. A really nice win over Missouri, 38-17. You had mentioned that Missouri was playing their third-string quarterback, so that might take a little of the luster off.
Yes.
But you still got to go out there and beat them. That doesn't mean the defense had backups playing.
Right.
And they still put 38 on that defense. So A&M is that team that you and I kept waiting for them to trip, kept waiting for them to fall, and they haven't done it. The banana peel must not be on the field this year. So good for Texas A&M. We've not said that because we dislike this team.
Yeah.
They're a good football team. This year they're having a great year. We'll see if they can pay it off.
Yeah, this is always a team that starts the race fast and finishes slow.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. This time they have put it all together, and they are starting fast, and they're going to finish fast.
Yeah.
This is a team that I think is a shoo-in to make the playoffs. They're going to be fun to watch in the playoffs. Marcel Reed is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
They got a good defense. I love their receivers they have on their team with Concepcion and Stover. They're a good team there.
Yeah.
What a good team they are.
Yep.
And I think they're going to stay in there. They're going to run into some buzzsaws here with Alabama in there and the rest of the ACC gang, but they're holding their own.
Well,
tough matchup this week against South Carolina.
I think South Carolina's kind of gone in the tank too. Another one of them teams I was high on, and boy, did they crap the bed. But A&M's biggest thing is that game with Texas.
Yes.
What do you get in that game? Because Texas looks like they're playing better. But A&M, their season cannot be denied right now. Even if they were to lose the game to Texas, you can't poo-poo on this team. I think they're in. I think even if they lose, they would bump Ole Miss out, and they would be the 4th team in. Just the way I see it. Kudos to Texas A&M for having a great season so far.
Yep. Number 1, Ohio State. It's pretty easy. This team just shows up every week, gets some work in, has so many stars on their team here.
Do you people know how hard it is to be undefeated at anything? There's only 3 undefeated teams
Still
in college football right now. Only 3. And another thing I wanted to bring up, we talked about shutouts. Going into this week, there was only 32 shutouts the whole season. And that includes 118 matchups between FBS and FCS teams. 32 shutouts. And not all of them were against FCS teams, which the FBS is 114-4 against. Again. So why are we playing these games? But do you know how hard it is to go undefeated? We see week in, week out, this team should not beat this team, and they do. We see teams with hopes of going somewhere dump it. The Buckeyes have not. The Buckeyes have replaced more players than any team in college football, and there they sit at 9-0. You can hate them all you want. You got to respect them.
Yeah.
And until somebody beats them, they're going to be number 1. They're the defending national champions. Good chances they can do it again.
Yeah.
Who on here would you bet your house on would beat them?
Yeah.
I'm not saying who do you think can beat them.
Yeah.
Who would you bet your house on is going to beat Ohio State right now?
Yeah, it still remains. You know, you see it week in and week out on every sports show. Who have they beaten? Who have they beaten? Who have they beaten? This team, and you made a great point, has replaced the most players, two coordinators, offensive coordinator and defense coordinator, and have still come in, have the best defense in college football and one of the most explosive offenses in college football. They deserve to be number one. I think they're the clear-cut number one. They have the best offensive weapons, the best defensive weapons. This is a team you better come in and you better pack a big lunch because you're going to have a hard time beating this team.
Who have they beaten was the question?
Yes.
Everyone they played.
Yes.
Now let me ask this question, because most of that's coming from SEC people or Michigan people.
Yes.
How many games did Michigan lose?
Yeah.
So you've lost 2 out of 9. Zip it. SEC, Texas A&M is the only team that can say the same thing as Ohio State.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Is Alabama undefeated?
No.
Alabama lost to Florida State.
Yes. Yep.
Texas Tech's not undefeated. Georgia's not undefeated. Georgia Tech's not undefeated. Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Oregon. Go right on down the list. None of them are undefeated.
Yeah.
That's how hard it is to go undefeated, people.
Yeah.
Zip it.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely they have beaten good teams, and you got to beat every team ahead of you. That we keep saying. You can.
Were they undefeated last year when they won it all? No. They're undefeated this year.
Yeah.
Keep quiet.
Yep.
Quiet in class.
Yep. And for the love of God, would you please take Booger McFarland off of that committee panel, because I can't stand listening to him last week when he said, "Who's Ohio State beaten?" Fast rewind to the beginning of the season when you picked Texas to beat Ohio State. That's who Ohio State beat, Texas. Well, the team that you had ranked number 1 and the team that you predicted to win that game, and now you say they've beaten nobody. Well, they might have beaten one of your better teams in your SEC.
Yeah, well, you know, how's that win going to look if Texas takes out Georgia and A&M?
Yeah.
How's it going to look then, Boog?
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Shut it up. Your hatred shows through. I'm not an Alabama fan by any stretch, but I'm giving them the credit they deserve. I'm not bringing the Florida State game up to poo-poo on them. No. I'm bringing it up so you understand. You can say they didn't beat anybody. Alabama, mighty Alabama, lost to 4-5 Florida State, which is 1-5 in the ACC, for God's sakes. Who have they beat?
Yeah.
Everyone they've played.
Yeah, yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Yep.
I dropped the mic.
Well, with that being said here, that's our top 25 rankings. It's real easy to do. Like and subscribe. You got anything to add to this?
I do not.
We'll catch you next week.
Peace!